Welcome to all. I am Sadhana. I am studying in SC from Xavier's Anglo-Indian Higher Secondary School in Broadway, and I am a student of Junior IAS Academy. Today I am going to take Social Science, History, Unit 3, Yearly Tamil Society and Culture. In Alaska, also we have seen about that only. We are seeing about that we have seen about the introduction and the 3.1 sources for the study of an yearly Tamil society. In that we have seen the three topics, and now we are going to see today is non-Tamil and foreign literature. What topics we have seen? Let's recall it. These are the topics we have seen. The sources for reconstructing the history of the Asian Tamils are classical Tamil literature, epigraphy, inscriptions, archaeological excavation, and material culture. Today, now we are going to see about what is that non-Tamil and foreign literature. What are they and that things? Non-Tamil sources, the foreign accounts. Non-Tamil literature sources also offer information on early Tamil society. That is in a non-Tamil literature, but that sources also offer some information about that early Tamil society. We can gather informations from that also. The presence of the non-Tamil sources reveals the extent contracts and interaction of the early Tamil society with the outside world. That the presence of the non-Tamil sources reveals the extant contracts and the interaction of the early Tamil society with the outside world. Arthashastra, the classic work on economic and statecraft, authored by Hatiliu during the Mauryan Empire. That Mauryan period refers to that Pandya Kavataka. It may be that may mean the pearl and the shells that from the Pandyan country. Mahavamsa, that the Sri Lankan Buddhist, that Quranical composed in the Pali language. There is one language that was composed by that language, that Pali language, the Quranical. The Quranical was composed by that language. Mentions that merchants and ox traders from the Tamil Nadu and South. Quranical is a narrative text presenting the important historical events in chronological order. This is a Quranical is a narrative text that will present the important historical events in that a particular order, the chronological order, that will present that things in that time. Periplus of the Erythraean Sea, that is an ancient Greek text whose author is not known. That author was written a book like that, and that author doesn't know their name. The term of the periplus means negatively that a guide, the navigational guide. That means navigational guide used by the sailors. That periplus mean. So, that Earthian Sea, that sea is referred to the waters around the Red Sea. It refers that it makes a reference to the Sangam age ports of Mussoorie, Thundi, Korikai, and Kumari, as well as the Cheras and also the Pandyas. The that the periplus means that is navigational guide, and that sea is refers to the water around the Red Sea. And next is Pliny's natural history. That Pliny the Elder was then a Roman who wrote a natural history. It was written in Latin language. It is a text on the natural wealth of the Roman Empire. Pliny speaks about the pepper trade with the India. He was writing about the pepper trade with the India, what trade happened. He states that it took 40 days to reach India in that book from the oceans near to the northeast Africa if the southwest monsoon wind was favorable. He also mentions the Pandyas of Madurai controlled the port of Bekar on the Kerala coast. He was returning all the things in that how many days and which place they are from that near to northeast Africa they reached that place if that the wind is was favorable and he also mentions about the Pandyas of Madurai controlled the port station in the Kerala coast. And the current name of Bekar is not known now, and Pali laments the loss of Roman wealth due to the Romans' pepper trade with India, a- and indication of the huge value of the pepper that was traded. The current name of Bacarian is not known. And the Pallene laments the loss of Roman's wealth due to the Romans' pepper trade, with the India indication of the large volume of the pepper that was traded. Pliny's natural histories book. He was a he was an Pliny's the leader. Geography. That the Ptolemy's geography is an gazetteers and atlases of the Roman times, providing the geographical details of the Roman Empire in the second century. They somehow they providing the geographical details of the Roman Empire in the second centuries. The Kaveri, Pumbatinam, Korikai, Kanyakumari, and Mysore. Missouri, and some of the places mentioned in his geography. This is the picture of Ptolemy. This is a map of Peutingerian table. That was on a table that is then illustrated the map of the Roman roads. That the Roman roads will be like this. The streets that is on a map of that. This table is an illustrated map of the Roman roads. It shows the areas of the ancient Tamilagam and the port of Mussoories. Note and Tapropan refers to the Sri Lankan as an island. Mussoories refers to the port of Muturi. This is an papyrus. That papyrus is a paper name. In that in civilizations we have learned about this. What is the papyrus? They will make a paper with this papyrus. With this they will make the papers. The word paper comes from the papyrus. The Egyptian wrote on the leaves of the plant which called papyrus and a kind of a reed which grow on the banks of the river Nile. That will grow in the bank of the river Nile. Egyptian wrote the detail and the documents and all in that paper, the papyrus paper. They will started to write that. And Vienna Papyrus, a Greek document datable to the second century. That a Greek document is there that will contain the data of the second century mentions that Missouri's trade of the olden days. It is in the Papyrus Museum attached to the Austrian National Library. That having the account that is an attached to the Australian National Library, Vienna, Australian. It contains a written agreement between the traders and mentions of the name of the ship. They will have the name of the ship in that, and they will contain the agreement what they have in that. They will contain that. They will wrote that in that will be in that paper, the papyrus. And the hermopolen and a list articles of the exports such as in pepper and ivory that were shipped from India to the Roman Empire. In this they have the list of the articles we can get that they can we can get an article from that papyrus that exports such as an pepper and ivory things what they are export. They will list that and they will write that in this papyrus, and that were shipped from India to Roman Empire. And the papyrus is a paper that produced out by the papyrus plant, used extensively for writing purpose in ancient Egypt. Mainly, they will use this one thing. And these four, the sources of reconstructing the history of ancient Tamils are classical Tamil literature, epigraphy, inscriptions, archaeological excavation, and material culture, non-Tamil and foreign literature. In these, we have finished the four, and we have more topics in this lesson. We have the Sangam age, and we have the Sangam age political powers of the Tamil Sangam, and society in the Sangam age, economic, and other one is there the emergency of the Tamil, the emergency of the towns and ports. There is a more thing to see in this lesson. That's all of these four topics. Let in the next class we can see about the Sangam age. What is all there in the Sangam age about the five landscapes and chronology like that. And the other next the Sangam age polity, the political powers of the Sangam age, about the Cheras, the Pandyas, and the Cholas, the Mohendas. And in a society in a Sangam age, we will see about the composition of the society and the woman also. In economic, we will see about agriculture production like industries and many more is there. And in emergency of towns and ports, we will see about the what all they are found. And there two more also there, the faith and belief system and fine arts. These and all we are going to see in next classes. That's all of those four topics. Let's see other topics in next class.